All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 177. Today on the show, the Biden regime is telling us that the job numbers are going up. We're going to tell you who's really getting these jobs and what those numbers mean. Then we have a new Mandela Effect that will really make you wonder if your entire life is a simulated lie. Then we go over some free speech hypocrisy when it comes to the Pride crosswalk vandalizers versus the Free Palestine vandalizers. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we reached a new level of brazen criminal that is going to blow your mind. All this and more is Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 177, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Bradboy.
All right, one for one on the intro as always. Guys, Father's Day is coming up, and Sierra Whiskey Co. has the perfect gift for the show-watching dad in your life. In addition to their most popular Undertack boxers, you can also load Dad's closet with t-shirts, joggers, socks, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. All of these items are made in America, and they are some of the most comfortable clothes I have ever worn. I'm not just saying that. It's the perfect gift for your dad this Father's Day. Their socks are made of battle weave wool, which is 5 times stronger than merino. Their ring-spun cotton hoodies and joggers are dangerously comfortable, and every patriot needs the EDC t-shirt 3-pack. Remember, Undertack isn't your typical men's boxers. They're made out of modal, which is 50% more moisture-wicking than cotton. They're antibacterial, and they're softer and way more comfortable than the competition. Plus, they now have women's Undertack shorts for the tactical lady in your life. Go to undertack.com today. That's undertac.com, and make sure you use code Fleccas20 at checkout for 20% off site-wide. Guys, Sierra Whiskey Co. is a fantastic company. They're a show-watching company, exceptional comfort, twice the guarantee at a fraction of the cost. They even donate part of their profits to organizations that fight human trafficking. Undertac.com is the website. It's linked in the description. Code Fleccas20 at checkout will get you 20% off site-wide. And remember, if you send me a screenshot showing me that you got some Sierra Whiskey Co. for your dad this Father's Day, I will follow you back on the social media of your choice. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Sierra Whiskey Co. for sponsoring.
Yeah, Undertack Parent Company?
Undertack Parent Company. We love Undertack.
And when we're talking about their joggers, we're not talking about a New York Post euphemism.
That's right.
Those are pants.
Those are pants, and they're very comfortable. I wear so many things from Undertack and Sierra Whiskey Co. All right, we have a really good show today. What day is it? Tuesday show?
Yeah.
We got a good Tuesday show. We have a great Cringe, a great Urban. Urban goes a little long, so we cut a little out of housekeeping, but hopefully you won't even notice.
Yeah, it's a good Urban.
It's a good Urban. We have a great show. It's a packed script. First things first, let's open the show with some solutions.
Okay.
I think a lot of times we point out problems and we complain about stuff, but whenever there's a solution, it's good to highlight that too, because that solves the problem.
Okay.
So this is the fertility crisis solution. I saw this on Twitter. Can you give it a read?
I figured out how to fix the fertility crisis problem. Men are not attracted to girl boss types. Women are not attracted to men that make less than them. Solution, pay men 30% more than women.
There we go.
I know. It's actually that simple.
Yeah, I think we're onto something. And that's why
It's like a Nathan for you. Solution?
Yeah.
Pay men 30% more.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where all the companies are accused of being sexist because of the wage gap.
Yeah.
And everyone's like so scared of the wage gap, so they need to pay everyone equally. But maybe the wage gap was the end game the whole time. That's how we solve everything.
I know. And honestly, that's one of the most dishonest things ever. It's like, let's take all women and average out their salary, and then all men and average out their salary. There's a wage gap. It's like criminally, statistically irresponsible.
There's also a bench press gap.
Yeah. Like, are we not worried about that? Do we care?
Why isn't that the same? The bench press gap.
One of the worst psyops of all time.
Yes. Another bad psyop going on is the situation with Alex Jones. They are coming for our boy Alex Jones to sell InfoWars to pay $1.5 billion debt to Sandy Hook families.
Yeah. And there's like DuPont was poisoning like creeks. They probably paid half that.
Yeah.
Alex Jones needs to pay $1.5 billion because he said mean words after like some people died.
Exactly. There's some like chicken farmers or animal agriculture companies that are currently poisoning us.
The cow has one eye, like the creek runoff water. It's all poison. DuPont gets a slap on the wrist.
Skittles should be illegal, and they're on the shelf still.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys support Alex Jones where you can.
Yeah.
Because he's
maybe wait until, I don't know, what do we do? Wait until after the judgment and then slip him 20?
Yeah, because we don't want to give all the money to him and then have him give it to them.
Exactly.
We want him to, once he's starting fresh, start getting money. So
he needs a body man. He needs a body man who's just like, I'm taking the donations, but he's basically a human meat puppet for
Jones.
him. Yeah. Well, Mrs. Jones, get a quick divorce. Oh, actually, that's probably bad.
We'll keep an eye.
I don't know. We're working on it.
Let us cook on how to help Alex Jones. Make sure you guys are watching his content, and I'm sure he has calls to action where you can help.
Yeah.
So he's always been good to us. We're going to be good back to him. We love Alex Jones here at Fleccas Talks. All right, let's get into some Hunter Biden updates. His hearing for his gun trial.
Yeah.
They're deliberating now, so it should be settled maybe later today. Listen to what Eric Holder had to say about this. This was a clip about just Hunter Biden in general getting these charges put on him and how a DOJ can become corrupt.
Can you just describe a little bit in terms of the role of and how it would transform if an attorney general were not looking at things purely from the facts, purely from the evidentiary burden and how to meet it, but instead taking directives on who to prosecute from the President of the United States?
Sure. If the president told a compliant attorney general, I don't like what this congressman said about me or did to me over the course of the last 2-3 years, whatever, open an investigation on that person. That attorney general could tell a compliant United States attorney to do just that. Talk to a compliant FBI director who could be replaced by the president, to open an investigation, and then to just look through that person's life and look for anything that you possibly can find. Who's to say what you find in any person's life that might run afoul of the law, and even beyond that, the mere fact of an investigation of a person who is a public figure can be reputation ruining, can be politically damaging, not even if you find anything, just the fact that the investigation itself exists. And if you've got the full weight of the Justice Department, the full weight of the presidency, the full weight of the FBI focusing on somebody like that, that can be extremely damaging to not only that person individually, but to our democracy writ large.
The good time for Eric Holder to start making some sense.
Yeah. Does he not even realize the mirror that he's holding up to Hunter Biden and Trump? And then Hunter Biden did so many like crimes where it's basically like yelling out at driving a flaming car, yelling out past a cop while he's drinking. Like it was so loud, all of his crimes. It's all videotaped. The Secret Service like knows about it and everything. And then Eric Holder goes, like, show me the man, show me the crime is a danger to democracy. Exactly what they're doing to Trump. But for Hunter Biden, it's a threat to literal democracy.
Yeah, it's very interesting how it changes depending on what political side you're on.
Exactly.
If you're on the right political side, it's like, hey, even the investigation itself is damaging to someone's brand or reputation. We can't do that. But when you have the actual crimes on camera on the laptop that was submitted as real evidence, which is now confirmed to be true, obviously everyone knew that already. It's interesting to see him go both ways and make a lot of sense when usually he's doing the opposite.
I know. It's crazy. But, you know, that's life. And Hunter Biden, you know, he had the other hotel incident come out during this.
Yeah,
and,
here's his new clip that came out of him wrangling an Asian prostitute.
There she goes.
She runs out. Here he comes right after her. We had to censor his butt a little bit.
Yep. And he grabs her, drags her back. Very caveman-esque for Hunter.
Yeah. He's good at wrangling.
I know. It's not the first time he's done that, is what my instinct tells me.
Those types are easy to wrangle.
I know. It's not that much of a challenge. But the key, actually, for that, the whole Hunter Biden thing, wrangling someone is not getting locked out of your hotel while you're naked. So Hunter's been there before. So
he was aware of how those doors close.
Exactly.
And then the Russia media is covering the Hunter Biden story as well, but they're playing up the pedophile angle a little more than anyone else.
Раздетым Хантером Байденом, жертвой которого дети. Вопиющие кадры рядом с раздетым Хантером Байденом несовершеннолетние. На одном
So we get it. We don't understand anything in Russian, but they're showing the pictures of him with what appear to be underage people, underage sex workers, people from different countries that are clearly underage. So there might be more to it there. I think there's a chance that this whole thing results in maybe Joe Biden needing to pardon his son.
Yeah.
Catholic Joe, family first. I'm pardoning my son, and then I'm going to step down, and a woman of color like Michelle Obama needs to take over.
You're always trying to shoehorn the Michelle Obama into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that Russian news kind of shows you what news would be if we had a right-wing controlled media. You know, that's like news with the governor off. Like, look at this. It's all the shit we see online, right? Mm-hmm. But that Fox News would never cover or anybody like that. So it's interesting.
And anyone who does cover, they sue for $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Like Alex Jones.
You guys see how it works, right?
You guys see how it works. Governor Whitmer was asked to chime in on the Hunter Biden stuff, and then she faked a signal outage.
I want to turn to a very different trial, and that is one that is going on in Delaware with the president's son, Hunter Biden. He is on trial for obtaining and possessing a firearm while under the influence of illegal drugs, which was against the law. Republican Lindsey Graham says that an average American would not have been prosecuted
Dana, are you there?
for this. Yes, Governor, can you hear me? Did you just drop my feed? Okay, it sounds like the governor can't hear me. You know what? We're going to take a very quick commercial break.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, she knew.
And it's the thing to do there, if you're ever in the situation, is you say, hey, I can't hear you. Are you there? And then if someone goes, oh, Fleccas, can you hear me? You can't go, no.
Yeah. I think that's pretty base level, faking dropping a phone call.
You can't say no.
Yeah.
You have to talk over them and then talk completely on your own and really not acknowledge that you're hearing anything.
Absolutely.
And this is the second time Governor Whitmer's done that. Mm-hmm. Governor Whitmer. It's happened with COVID as well, and look how she handled it.
Governor, when it comes to your handling of the pandemic, we all know the critics over the past few years. Do you have any regrets? And is there Go ahead, Governor. Can you hear me okay?
So she has a history.
Yeah.
Or she's got not a tech-savvy crew.
Yeah, she's got an incompetent minority intern or something. I don't know.
Her comms director is a DEI hire.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's get out of the politics and move into some good news. This isn't our Pride section. That's going to come a little later in Cringe, believe it or not. But with everything going on with Pride Month, we're kind of seeing who's with us and who's against us. Because the companies are showing their true colors, the rainbow flag, doing all the gay shit. But I'm happy to report we have a new ally that's with us. Can you give that a read?
This?
Yeah.
Skittles, white pride.
That's what it says in the label. And then on the package, it says, during Pride, only one rainbow matters. And all the Skittles are white. So, very true.
I know.
Thank you, Skittles. Thank you, Skittles.
But weren't you just saying earlier that Skittles are all poison, too?
Yeah.
So are they trying to get us with the white people in, the white nationalists, poison them?
That's a good point. That's a little conspiracy theory. I think, obviously, they are poison and should be illegal, but the xenophobia and race realism is kind of balancing that out.
Penalties offset.
Penalties offset. All right, moving on. Speaking of Joe Biden, speaking of xenophobia, we have some stats to debunk from the Biden admin's job numbers.
Yeah.
So they have this new stat. Maybe we just read the tweet and then we'll show the graphs.
Yeah, well, this is something we've covered. The foreign-born population is doing the heavy lifting for the jobs numbers. So the insane trend continues. In just May, 414,000 immigrants, legal and illegal, gained a job. Meanwhile, 663,000 native-born Americans lost their job. Since pre-COVID, native-born workers have actually lost 2 million jobs. All of the net job gains are immigrants. And so, I mean, here's another chart, native-born versus foreign-born. And obviously yeah, I know. I should have been on the one side of this bet or something. I could have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is something we've talked about. Our foreign-born population is exploding. That's at an all-time high, and it reached a number that we weren't supposed to hit until like 2040. And so all these jobs have been going to, we've talked about it before, they've been revised down from full-time. A lot of them are part-time jobs. They're going to foreign-born people. So how exactly is a job report good for like Americans when it's like not going to any actual Americans, right?
And a lot of times, like you said, if they're part-time jobs, it's some people's second or third job.
Yeah.
So if someone reports, hey, I have 3 jobs, they go, oh, we added 2 new jobs on top of the one you had already.
Exactly. And this is on top of all these job numbers being posted and then revised down quietly months later.
Yep.
So we've had a lot of questionable, the data that makes up this, they released the job numbers and they're like 400,000 new jobs. And then like the stock market reacts to it, and then you kind of dig in the data and you're like 400,000, they're part-time. They're both illegal and foreign-born people.
And it gets revised to 125.
Yeah, exactly. And so like the stock market can go up if the human meat bags are here consuming and buying McDonald's and buying, you know, all the companies that make up the S&P 500. But it doesn't exactly help our national identity or the individuals who are actually American in this country. Oh, jobs went up. It's like, okay, they're all part-time illegals.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's the key. It's illegals who are being lumped in because it's all foreign-born. So it's either immigrants or illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And they're lumping those in. They're just saying, hey, we have new jobs, but obviously it's not for Americans.
Yeah. If you look at the definition on the government website, it says foreign-born population includes legally admitted immigrants, refugees, temporary residents, temporary workers, and undocumented immigrants. So
that's why they keep bringing them in by the millions.
Yeah.
They keep loading them up to pat the numbers. Trump just gave a speech in Vegas at a Vegas rally a few days ago. And Politico wrote an article, Trump embraces harsh immigration rhetoric during Las Vegas rally. And then you'd think that some of this rhetoric might be pushing voters into a certain direction, but a majority of people are fine with mass deportation. Can you read this new stat?
Yeah, new national program to deport all undocumented immigrants. And the poll is of registered voters from June 5th. And it says 62% favor deporting all undocumented immigrants. You have to go back.
Mm-hmm. You have to go back. That's what the buses are for.
I know. We thought that we weren't going to use the buses. We should start placing that bus order now. Yeah. Otherwise, we're not going to have enough. Imagine Trump being like, hey, like 500 buses now. Yeah. And it's like they start building them on contingency.
I'll invest in the bus company.
I know.
And then there was a story. There was some illegals that were rioting at the border, I think in March of this year.
Yeah.
And then
the ones who were clashing with Border Patrol agents, and they were rushing. You saw them kind of fighting a little bit. And it was outside of El Paso.
Yes, outside of El Paso. And then this is what the El Paso DA said about the whole situation.
How many of those have been dismissed?
The March cases, we have 214 cases total out of the March cases that were dismissed and are pending.
Are you all going to try to re-indict those ones?
That decision is still pending.
So 214 illegals who rioted at the border. And their charges are what? Oh, I don't know. Dropped. Maybe we'll bring them back up.
Those charges are dropped. The first thing they did when they got here illegally was riot against our border patrol. And then we go, hey, don't worry about that. Come on in.
Yeah, the El Paso DA, he's rattled. He'll give you whatever you want. And like the whole point is to dissuade other people from doing something like that. Especially when you're not even enforcing laws. It's like, let's make people fear the American justice system and know that even though Biden's already letting people come to the country through an app, that you at least can't assault Border Patrol agents. But no, we can't even get that right.
You can assault them a little bit.
Yeah, just, let it die down a couple months later.
Yep. And then there was a march a couple days ago in New York City. These are all the illegals marching and protesting against ICE. So we get it. The streets are packed. They're shutting down the streets. This is the vision I had for when things are going to pop off before the election. It's going to be all the illegals taking it to the streets. I don't know if it's before the election or maybe after Trump wins. Then they take it to the streets and wreck stuff because they know they're going to have to leave. Either way, that was the vision I had, but it was a little uglier.
And they're protesting ICE, who is so handicapped at this point that they're basically only going after the most violent, most insane illegals that are here. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I can't imagine, like, you're all here, right? It's all fine.
Yeah, you should be thanking ICE.
I know.
You guys are basically teamed up with ICE. Well, let's go across the pond real quick to see how other Western countries are dealing with their rush of migrants.
Yeah, this is kind of the story of the week. I mean, Germany and France had elections.
Had elections that leaned more conservative than people expected. Even in Germany, they tried to lower the voting age to 16, thinking it would get more progressive votes, and ended up being more right-wing than they thought.
Twist.
And then in France, here's the map, the brown color, the poop brown color.
Which they know what they're doing.
That is the color of people who are voting for the far-right parties. It looks like the whole thing is pretty brown. That's a San Francisco poop map.
I know. I don't think if you call it, I don't think if the entire map looks lit up in brown like this, you can call it far-right anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then there was a knife guy, Mohammed the knife guy, who's a new immigrant to the UK.
Here he is.
He's practicing. Fast. Coming to an old lady near you.
You'll see him in the headlines soon enough. This is just the social media teaser. You'll see the headlines later, right?
Welcome to London, bruv.
But yeah, I mean, all these elections, I mean, this is a real wave that's happening, and the media is trying to frame it in some sort of way where it's like, oh, this far-right groups. How are these far-right groups gaining ground in Germany and France and everywhere? And it's like, just not unlimited immigration of third world street rats, please. Like, you turn every normal person into a single issue voter when you're perpetually importing the third world to, like, actually nice countries. And the metaphor that I look at it like is, you know how if you're in your family, you can kind of talk shit to each other and you make fun of your brother and then he makes fun of you. But then if somebody else outside does it, you're kind of like, hey, what the hell? And you team up against them. It's kind of the same way. Like, a lot of European and Western countries need to go, time out. Like, we'll solve our left-right differences after we get the, like, unlimited third worlders out of here, right?
That's a good point.
So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. And then a lot of leftist think pieces are like, what happened? How can the far right keep doing this? It's like, you call us far right, you call us racist, you know, you're doing all these horrible things, and we just simply don't want unfettered immigration all the time on demand.
From horrible places where people are not able to get along in society with us.
Yeah, not compatible at all. Muhammad, he comes to the UK and he starts practicing the knife fighting. It's like, you don't need that here. That's the whole point, is you don't need that here, right?
Yeah.
But they don't understand that. They import their shitty behavior instead of getting the good behavior rubbed off on them.
And you know you're on the right side when the memes, obviously, that are talking about this issue are so common sense.
Yeah.
And then for example, I saw a meme that's like, Germany is for Germans. Italy is for Italians. America is for Americans. Yeah. Like, to oppose that, it's like, well, you're saying that because you hate brown people.
Yeah, and then
what
the meme
are you talking about, retard.
Yeah, the meme also said Africa is for Africans and China is for the Chinese, and all, like, it lists every country, but then you only start having a racist freak out when it's European countries.
Yeah, and it's just, nah, dog. What are you talking about? Everyone needs to go home.
Yeah, I like it here. The reason you want to come here is why I like it here too. You know, so the drastic changes over 4 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And all Western countries are facing the same issue right now. It's happening, oh my God, almost as if it's one globalist issue, right?
Yeah. Last clip from our migrant section from abroad. This guy who is from a family of immigrants in Poland says that Poland's racist.
It's not apparently, it is. And I can say that it is because my parents went there at the start of last year and everyone was acting rude with them. The hotel staff were rude to them, the people in the airport were rude to them. Basically, all the members of staff that they had to encounter were rude to them, and they realised that this same rudeness was not given to their white counterparts. So,
everyone's rude.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe you shouldn't live there then.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, sub-Saharan Africa is the right place for you.
Yeah, if everyone's rude to you, why would you want to live in a place where everyone's rude to you? Go back to wherever you came from.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's sweet. But Poland, they're rude because they keep looking at you.
Yeah.
You should go back to Somalia where they put a tire with gasoline in it around your waist and light you on fire.
That's called a Somali necktie or whatever it is.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that attitude, though, it's so entitled. Like the entire country needs to be accepting of you. Well, what about your country?
And that's the thing where we talked about the old immigrant classes versus the new immigrant classes. It's like, keep your head down, earn your place, be kind, and then be like an undeniably good neighbor. And then you obviously won't have these problems. The threshold to prove that is on you, the newcomer. And what I'm seeing from a lot of the newcomers across Western countries everywhere across the globe is horrible new neighbors.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's move on to my favorite part of the show.
Okay.
It's the last couple pages of housekeeping. We have a new Mandela Effect that just dropped. Chick-fil-A. So we'll read the tweet that kind of jump-started this whole conversation. Chick-fil-A did not have a K in it back then. My memory is very strong. Chick, C-H-I-C-K -F-I-L-A. That's how it's spelled now.
yeah.
I remember it as C-H-I-C
Me too.
-F-I-L-A,
Yeah.
which is weird. And I'm going to say something here, and this is probably going to get the police. They're going to come after me and probably kill me.
$1.5 billion fine coming.
I remember when it was C-H-I-K.
Ooh.
Cows were drawn it. They barely knew how to spell.
Yeah. Eat more chicken, they were saying, with a K. Yeah. They
And
kind
it
of were
was
dyslexic
Chick-fil-A.
cows.
But now they're trying to gaslight us and show us, oh, this is the Chick-fil-A logo over the years. From the 60s all the way to present, and it's always C-H-I-C-K. But we have some promo material that they gave out, like a sticker. Please, it says, place table marker here, and it's Chick-fil-A with a C.
Yeah. Looks like it was on the table at a restaurant somewhere.
And then on a tweet from Chick-fil-A back in 2018, they said, we're sorry to hear that the missing Chick-fil-A sauce, blah, 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 blah.
It's never good, and it's only with a C.
But
Now, is that a typo, or is that a
That's
grand
not
conspiracy?
a typo, because they changed their company name in the tweet, C-H-I-C-K. I get it, but you can't change the tweet from 2018 where you spelled it the correct way.
Okay.
So there's something to, that's probably why they turned those CERN colliders on.
That's where you lose me. That's where I go, all right. Yeah, something ain't right with the Chick-fil-A logo. The CERN colliders, that's where, I start to step away from you.
Yeah, but it's something.
Maybe. Berenstein Bears type shit.
Yeah, there's something. I remember Chick-fil-A with a C at least, C-H-I-C.
That's kind of what I thought.
At least that.
Me too.
And then they switch it to put us on a different timeline. So this is a different timeline we're on now.
So what changed? What happened?
Big things, but the little clues are this is a timeline where they spell Chick-fil-A this way.
Okay. All right.
And they couldn't button up every button, but that's where we're at. So make sure you guys use this opportunity to help us tickle the post, juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. Notifications need to be on, P.O. Box needs to be full. And let us know in the comments if you remember Chick-fil-A a certain way.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact it was C-H-I-C.
All right.
All right, let's move on. Are you ready, Richard?
Yes.
We have a golf update.
Okay.
Richard Rapoy and I have been having some disagreements at golf. First one's first.
Okay.
We're playing match play, $10 a hole type golf, right?
Yeah.
I hit my drive out of bounds, but it was on the other side of like a wood fence, like a one-beam wood fence that you can just
No. Tell them the whole story. If it's one beam, it's 3 beams. It's a whole wood fence separating the road from the hole.
And my ball was right on the other side of it, and I went under the fence, no big deal, hit my shot, back in play, and then he tells me
4-point hole. 4-point hole.
He tells me I lost the hole even because my ball went out of bounds. But out of bounds is like, there's been times where my ball's in the pond and I hit it from the pond.
That's questionable as well.
I never lost the ball. It was a foot outside of a fence on the course's side of the road. Didn't go across the street, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Didn't lose the ball.
Okay.
So he wants to tell me that because I'm out of bounds, I need a penalty stroke, even though I played the ball where it lies and continued the hole.
Yeah, so we pushed the hole.
Really quick, when you go in the
According
woods,
to that.
when you go in the woods and you're pushing the trees back and barely getting the ball out of the woods, does that count as out of bounds? Why are you hitting that ball? You should just drop it because you're out of bounds.
If there was a big red stake there with an out of bounds marker, it would be out of bounds.
And I would say, just play it. You found the ball. You don't need to drop the ball. Your ball's right there. Play it where it is.
Here's what it comes
If
down
it's
to.
in someone's yard, do you not hit it?
Here's what it comes down to. Fleccas is out of bounds, and he goes, oh, I found my ball, so I should get some charity from Richard Ratboy, even though we're gambling for money on the golf course. And I said, not so fast, buddy. That's a 4-point hole. You're done.
let us know in the comments. If the ball's not lost and it's out of bounds, you can hit it from someone's yard. You can hit it from the pond. You can hit it from the woods.
Yeah.
You can hit it from the piece of grass by the road.
Yeah, you can hit it from anywhere you want, but when you're playing for money, there's a certain standard that has to be upheld.
So when this happened, it made me not play for money for the rest of the day because I didn't feel like it. And then I started playing Harlem Globetrotters golf, which I call Trump golf, where you hit 2 off the tee. If it goes somewhere you don't like, you hit another one and you leave it. I hit one like 2 holes over and I just left it.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying that better. And then also I have a question for the comments, people. How many practice swings do you do? I do 0.
I do
you do
one.
a couple.
One, maybe a little
shuffle,
a little
thing.
back and forth, and one full swing.
Here's me hitting a drive and almost driving the green in a par 4. No practice swings, just straight up to the ball in my New Balance 550 golf shoes, and I just bomb it every time.
And now that golf is tax deductible.
Yep.
Because we used it in content, baby. We need to be tax avoidance maxing.
Yep. So all the golf trips for the rest of the year are now write-offable because we talk about golf so much.
Very good.
You know what else? You know what else I like?
What?
Espressos.
Yeah.
I'd like to make espressos at home somehow.
We're going to start filming some content. I have a feeling, and we're going to tax loss harvest a new espresso machine.
All right. Last piece of the golf part of this housekeeping. We were in a twosome, Rat Boy and I, and then some guy and his kid were like, hey, can we join you?
After 9.
And we don't like, the course is already packed. We don't like playing with strangers. So I said, nah, sorry, man. I basically paid for a lesson here. Like, meaning, I don't know.
I'm the instructor, and he's getting a lesson.
So I tell him that I paid for a lesson, and then Rat Boy's my instructor. And then he goes, okay, no problem. And then we're still in front of him, and we both tee off and like hit it in the woods. So Rat Boy's the instructor, and I'm like hitting it into the woods. He goes, hits it into the woods, bad shots, but he's a golf pro now.
The whole thing, like joining someone, we were a twosome in front of them, and then they were a twosome with another twosome behind us. You want to join us? Just enjoy the time with your son, man.
You're going to ruin my day?
Leave me alone. Yeah, that's my thought at least, you know?
I have this bad habit where I pay for 4 just so I can say, hey, man, I paid for 4. You don't put me with anybody. It's like an extra $40.
I know. It's a cheap course. So
it's a cheap course. All right, next thing, before we're done with this page of housekeeping.
And it's all tax deductible, so we can actually pay for 4.
It's actually so true.
Yeah.
The true test of a man. I did some fishing over the weekend.
Okay.
And I had really bad bait hands.
Yeah.
And as a kid, if I had bad bait hands when I used to go fishing all the time, I wouldn't eat with those hands. Mm-hmm. I would use a fork. I would really avoid the hands. So that's where a kid is. That's where a kid starts off. Then as I got older, I would eat, but then I wouldn't eat the part that my fish hands touch because it smells so bad. I would just eat like around it, and then whatever's in my hand, I kind of throw away.
Okay.
I'm at the point now and have been for the last few years where I'm fully eating meals with bait hands.
All right.
And that's the full test of a man.
I don't think so. I think that has nothing to do with it.
You don't think so?
I think that's just disgusting shit.
All right. Well, it's something to keep an eye out for.
Not really. Decision's been made. There's no keeping an eye out. There's no...
If you have bait hands, your hands smell like gross, and they're covered in scales and guts, and then you eat without really hesitation, that's man shit.
Yeah, it's Asian shit. That's Asian man shit.
That is some good stuff. All right. Well, that is the end of housekeeping. We are moving on to Cringe of the Week. We have a lot of good cringe to get to. The first is the convention drag queen. The Democrats had a convention in Texas, and then this is who they sent out to talk about it.
Heart especially aches for our trans children. While the drag ban bill may have been blocked, the trans youth healthcare ban has gone into effect here in Texas, preventing access to hormone blockers that are medically necessary for more than just trans youth. Gender-affirming care is life-saving. Access to healthcare.
Yeah, and that's already been debunked with a huge study that we covered a couple weeks ago about how people are 12 times more likely to commit suicide after gender-affirming care. Was that what it was, 12 times?
Yeah.
We'll check the numbers because we don't want to just say it, but it was like an insane increase.
It's the opposite of what everyone thought. And imagine like you're listening at your convention, like we said last week, and this is your political contemporary.
I know. This is like who you're side by side with. This giant fake tits man with cartoon eyes painted on his face with
huge wig.
The biggest caricature of a woman I've ever seen, and it's just some dude drinking Bud Light. Here he is in a bikini.
And then this person took a photo for social media and said, "I hate America, but I love this bikini."
Yeah.
So this is who the Dems invited. A mentally ill man who's convinced he's a woman who hates America. And that's like who they wanted to address their entire party.
Who has access to a kiddie pool. That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
That's something to keep in mind.
Be careful who you're standing side by side with, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But imagine if you're a Democrat that the people that you choose to speak at your events are like anti-American.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of a we gotta chill with that?
Texas.
We're in Texas. We have a presidential election coming up.
Actually, Texas kind of does hate America. They like to say we're a nation on our own. So
and that's what they get.
That's the based thing. Yeah.
yeah. You guys exactly. You're your own country. Here's who's in it.
And then also there was a story that we were gonna cover, but I don't see the assets here, so I think it might be a bonus land topic. But basically, there was a whistleblower doctor in Texas who was saying that the gender-affirming care was still happening. And now he's being sued to oblivion by the DOJ or something for leaking those documents to Chris Rufo.
We are going to cover that in bonus land.
So it's like, they bring out the man wearing a dress with giant fake bolted on tits to complain about how the trans stuff isn't allowed, and then they're still secretly doing that. So I don't know. It doesn't really seem politically coherent.
Doesn't seem politically coherent to me either. Our next section of Cringe is the hypocrisy between the people who are protesting Free Palestine, and then the people who are vandalizing the Pride crosswalks. Basically, both groups are destroying or altering public property in a certain way, but only one group is getting cracked down on. So here, we're going to play the story from the scooter kids.
I just saw this group of teenagers like deliberately making marks and scratch marks with their Lime scooters, like just all around.
Several witnesses confronted the group and called police.
We're not going to sit by as we watch people deliberately commit a hate crime, like right in the middle of downtown.
After looking at security footage, officers arrested 3 teenagers. 2 are minors and 1 is 19-year-old Ruslan Turco.
You are charged with 1 count malicious mischief.
Turco had his first appearance in court this afternoon. The judge released him under the condition he doesn't go near the crosswalk or the other teenagers. Prosecutors, though, had asked the judge to set a $15,000 bond since that's how much it costs to repaint the mural.
The community really came together to raise the money for them to be able to do it before the parade on Saturday.
Now this vandalism just hours after that repaint and only a few weeks after someone else set fire to the mural.
It sucks to be reminded in moments like this that there are still people out there that, have hate in their hearts for other people. So.
Have hate in their hearts for other people.
This is Seattle, by the way.
So they're cracking down if you ride your scooter the incorrect way across the crosswalk. And keep in mind, it's a crosswalk. It's like a road. So they basically put their like religious flag down on the road, and then they're going to judge if you drive over it correctly or not. And if you don't drive over it correctly, then they want to try and put you in jail.
And if you peel out, like you accidentally peel out, and it's like, was that guy laughing? Was that guy fucking around? And then they said like 3 or 4 people came and stopped him. So it's like militant people, lesbians waiting outside.
You're not driving on the road right.
I know.
But they put it on the ground. They're almost like asking for it so they can be victimized all the time. And it's getting to the point now where Lime scooters will now shut down if driven over Pride flag crosswalk in Washington.
So they geofenced like a 30 by 30 Pride flag area now. The future is so dystopian. I thought we would have cool shit, but we just babysit third worlders and don't let scooters on the gay flag.
And anyone who stands up for any sort of like American thing or nationalist thing, like that's priority number 1 of who to go after.
Yeah.
And then,
also, this is just such in terms of like the social. I don't even know what to describe it. They're baiting people. They're like, we're gonna do the largest, biggest overture for gay people you've ever seen, and if anybody has a problem with it, that's a hate crime. It's like the most victimless hate crime ever. Paint on a sidewalk. So,
and then it makes you wonder, like, what if you walked across and spit on the ground?
Yeah.
What if you sneeze? What if you threw some trash out? Is that a bigger hate crime? Probably.
Do we need to test this?
You didn't walk on the road correctly.
And if you avoid, soon it's going to be if you avoid walking on it. Hey, that guy went on a roundabout way. That's a hate crime. So that's next.
Anything's a hate crime if the victims are a part of the oppressed classes that they're using to lead block to get their agenda in for. All right, let's go to the Free Palestine people. This is not a hate crime. This is what they were doing at their protests.
You.
It's a me type. So we get it. So this group of, you know, people, Habibis, people that look like terrorists, they have the scarves, they're yelling, they're going like this.
Yeah, they have a Joe Biden severed head mask, and they're lighting American flags on fire.
And then they're also graffitiing national monuments.
Yeah.
And then that is not a hate crime. I don't think any arrests were even made at that event. And then here they're assaulting federal rangers. This guy's a park ranger, and they're throwing bottles at him.
Yeah. Big group bullying the one guy, throwing shit at him after he's protecting a statue that's already been defaced times 10. So you get it.
Yeah, exactly. So to sum it up, if you are pro-America and have any sort of nationalist values, you're target number one on the bad guys list. And if you're anti-American and assault police, but you have an anti-American spirit to you, and you are also against the normal people.
Yeah.
Like if you're pro-Pride or the Free Palestine people, you're against like normal everyday Americans.
Pro-anarchy.
Then you're the good guys.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. No charges.
Yeah, but they tell us we're the problem, which is interesting. And all we want is kids not to get sexualized and our national monuments and our heritage not to be destroyed.
Yeah.
But we're the crazy ones. And it's getting to the point now where this woman who's running against Elise Stefanik, she's saying that Trump supporters need to be put into re-education camps.
Really important in moving forward and moving through this, even if we were to have a resounding blue wave come through, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare, and re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure we can find another way to phrase it.
Wow.
So she's not worried about the re-education camp. She's worried about the marketing and PR behind it and rephrasing it.
They might need to rephrase it a little bit.
Yeah.
Before they send us away. So lots of stuff to look forward to. And we're on to our next page of Cringe. You know how everything's being politicized?
Yeah.
And politics is leaking into pretty much every aspect of our lives?
Of course.
We knew it was happening with the kids shows, but I'm going to show you a clip here. It's unfortunately happening on Sesame Street quite a lot. Look what Elmo had to say in a recent post.
Read about International Jew by Henry Ford. I'm not making money because the Jewish costume company's harassing me. That's why I'm doing it. And that's why I want people to read about the International Jew, because if you start your own business in this city, Jews will harass you.
Wow.
Elmo.
Elmo.
That had been bottled up for a long time, I think.
Yeah. The simulation used a lot of computing power to simulate that one.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if he didn't break character and did the Elmo voice, too.
That's true. He let us down, I guess.
And also, speaking of Sesame Street, you know who is an IQ realist now?
Who?
Mr. Snuffleupagus, the
oh my God,
Snuffleupagus? Yeah, the hairy elephant.
He's an IQ realist.
He's an IQ realist. He was saying, he was going off about how Somalis have like a 65 IQ.
Oh my God.
He's a real sick fuck, that thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the one with the lady eyes.
Yeah.
A real sick fuck. All right, let's go on to our next section of Cringe. This is the bad pageant section.
Yeah.
So on Friday's Bonus Land, we covered a pageant where the girl lost to a girl with Down syndrome.
Yeah, it was Miss Teen, Rhode Island or somewhere. Right?
Yep. So there's another pageant that came out lately in Alabama. I don't know which specific pageant it was, but this was the winner of the Alabama pageant.
Yeah.
The one in the middle.
Big girl, we'll call her, just to be nice, right?
Big Red.
Big Red.
And then there was another pageant where trans person won.
Yeah, it was Bailey Ann, an Asian man, just won the Miss Maryland beauty pageant. And here's the clip of that. There he is. He's got a cack under there.
Mm-hmm. So you have the man win, the fat person win, and the Down syndrome girl win.
Those are the big three. That's Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron in Miami. That's the big three who you can lose to.
And people will say, like, well, it's not a big deal. It's a different type of winner. But keep in mind, like, the 50 other girls got $600 glam makeup done for this whole event.
Like a team of people. They had a coach. They had the glam makeup, 3 outfit changes just to get it, the 300-pounder.
Yeah, and it makes you realize that if you're in a pageant or you're in a situation where you're in the final 2 and you're holding hands with the girl across from you and it's either a man,
Down
syndrome, or really, 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 really fat,
it's over.
It's over.
It's over. Take the L. Just focus on losing graciously and looking good because, next opportunity when there's not a trans, Down syndrome, or whale, you'll probably be set up to win.
Yeah, I would like it to be the final 2 is like a whale versus trans.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
And then it's an actual showdown.
Then it's a battle. Then it's true talent that has to win, right? And people were saying for this Alabama one, like, this isn't the real Miss Alabama or something. Like, this is a bad psyop. And it's like, well, I think 100 girls probably still got together and did this whole pageant, and then they still gave it to the giant fat girl. So I don't really care if it's the official one. It's still a joke, right?
I'd like to see the second place normal girl when they lose to the trans person or the giant fat girl to go, what? Are you kidding me? And just like have a real outburst in front of everyone.
That would be good.
That would be pretty lit.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Urban Decay. That was a little bit of an express cringe because Urban's pretty packed. Our first part of Urban Decay is our new Brazen Criminal section.
Yeah.
Where obviously in Urban we see how bad crime is, but these clips are taking it to a new level. First is the porch pirate.
FedEx driver walks up. This is Columbus, Ohio. Anytown, USA. Scans it, drops it, knocks.
Oh.
A guy comes and steals it while he's there.
He steals it while the FedEx driver is there. That's a new level.
And the FedEx driver's just flat-footed. He thought it was like a resident or something. He thought, no way, they're trailing the car and just stealing immediately. So
he stole, that guy, the street rat, stole that guy's 2-pack of deodorant.
Exactly. He stole a 40-pack of hangers, whatever random thing it can be.
And I was thinking, it's for street rats. You know how we live in like a gambling society now?
Yeah.
This is kind of like a bonus box gamble for a street rat.
Loot box, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
An iPhone. Like, that's hitting the jackpot.
or Costco gold bars.
Yeah.
Yes. And then other times like, oh, ear medicine for a dog. That's
exactly
what's coming.
Bunion cream.
Yeah.
And it's like an old lady lives there. So...
let's go on to our next clip. This is a cop, a sheriff, who's being interviewed here.
In New York, right?
In New York.
We'd found out just before they came out that these asset protection had seen them in there a week before stealing computers. But they didn't call the police because their policy said don't call unless you know who the suspects are. So that's an unreported criminal grand larceny. So anyways, they come out. The bad guy and me are standing off. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. We got this standoff going on. We're going left or right. I'm ready for the foot chase. I look down, Jen, and he's wearing flip-flops. Guys, he's committing a grand larceny twice in a week. He's committing a grand larceny at the store, and he doesn't care. He honestly doesn't care about our system. This is a joke to him. He doesn't plan on running. He's wearing flip-flops to a grand larceny.
Wow.
So stealing in front of the sheriff and then going, zero preparation. He doesn't even care.
And he steals, wears flip-flops, doesn't even try to run. He knows he's not going to get in trouble. And then he even said in the beginning it was an unreported grand larceny.
The week before because they let him out.
Because they let him out. And then keep in mind with our stats.
Of the store.
Of that store. Keep in mind with the stats, that is increased crime right there, but it wasn't even reported. And then a lot of times the criminals, they get in, they get their things knocked down, they get released. So it's like the stats that are already bad, they're not even as bad as they truly are.
Yeah, the bottom of the iceberg, it's not even like a proportional iceberg anymore. It's so insane. We only see the tip, but the bottom is like it goes for the whole ocean. And that's one of the things, too, is we often make fun of how dumb street rats are, and thank God criminals are so dumb because it lets them get caught. But we say that, but the criminals learn the systems. The criminals learn, oh, they don't chase. If I cover my face, they don't know who I am. I can go. And they're stealing like computers, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know why. And here's a thing. I don't know why you would steal the random FedEx lottery like we were just discussing. Could be deodorant, could be bunion cream, could be the stupidest shit you've ever seen when they don't even chase you stealing computers.
Yeah.
Why would you do the FedEx?
It's a good point.
So...
And also for this situation, obviously the criminals are the ones prioritized. They're the ones who aren't getting in trouble. So if you owned a store, why would you even own a store? Why wouldn't you just sell your product online? Why wouldn't you just sell it through Amazon?
Yeah.
If you're going to go buy from a store, why would you buy from a store that's going to up their prices because they have to make up for the lost merchandise? Why wouldn't you just go buy from Amazon?
Yeah.
It's like the goal of these crises that are man-made. It always ends in shrinking the middle-class, normal, everyday, law-abiding people. That's what they're going to do with bird flu, too. Bird flu is going to squeeze independent farmers and then just drive everyone to buying their meat and their milk from corporations that are controlled, and then they're going to end up 3D printing the meat. It's going to be fake. It's going to be bugs.
All right.
So, you know, whenever there's like a man-made thing where they're like, oh, the police and the DAs aren't prosecuting, what do we do? What's it going to result in? It's going to result in the good guys changing society in a bad way. No more brick and mortar stores.
Oh, whoopsie.
And then what happens when you do call the police? You think maybe you get rewarded or thanks for the tip. We caught the guy. This next story, a worker called the police and he lost his job for it.
What I saw was he took a swing, like a punch at her.
That's what Pat Guider says he saw inside the Big Lots store that he used to manage at Irondequoit. And that's why he followed the shoplifter out of the store.
I let people who shoplift leave the store every day. Every day. We just put it in the system that they ask us to do. This was an assault. This wasn't shoplifting. This was an assault.
Despite 20 years with the company and a positive review in March, the company did not see it the way Guider did. And 2 weeks after the incident, Guider says he was called to his district manager's office and fired.
Do you think you did the right thing?
I think I did the right and just thing. The right and just thing.
This is not the first retail store manager fired over a shoplifting incident. It's not even the first.
So, yeah, we get the point. Big Lots, which is closing 50 locations nationwide, is now firing people for trying to stop shoplifters.
And not even just they don't stop shoplifters, but if the shoplifter hits someone, you can't chase them down. You can't even try to get them.
Because you'd think that that would cross the line, and then you stop them, and the cops come, and because someone was assaulted, they get in trouble. Nope. Big Lots says, you're fired, normal working guy who works at Big Lots.
And they're closing 50 stores?
And they're closing 50 stores this year.
Shocked.
Yep, that's why they can't have us eating steak. Steak eaters don't let that happen. That guy was a steak eater.
Maybe. He looked a little...
But this whole idea of not stopping criminals and criminals get away.
Oh, put it in the system.
And if you stop them, you're the problem. Like, if you told that to someone 20 years ago, they would say, what are you talking about? Like, when it makes you wonder, have we been taken over as a country?
I agree.
Are we occupied right now?
I know.
It feels like everything's backwards and not allowed, and all the good people are getting in trouble, and all the bad people are coming here and being allowed to do whatever they want. Something bad might have happened here.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So while our stores are being looted and our criminals are being released, our Blue City police chiefs are on some twink shit.
Yeah.
This is the DC police chief at the Pride event over the weekend.
She is a presumed black lesbian?
Yeah. There she is. There we go.
I have a feeling you're going to tell me some crime stats or something next.
Yeah, we have some crime stats out of DC from Wokeness, one of our favorite accounts. This is for last year.
Yeah. Robberies are up 67%, homicides are up 35%, violent crimes are up 39%, vehicle thefts are up 82%. And those are the good ones because those are the ones that you know get reported.
Yeah.
So like we said with the iceberg earlier about the thefts that don't even get reported from retail stores, like your car gets stolen, you're like, all right, I got a call.
Random sucker punches are up probably 500%.
Yeah, okay, I think I can make it out of this one.
I just got to go to work. What happened? Oh, I got punched by some crackhead on the train.
Yeah, so that's what they're focused on. And then this was also in D.C. There was some sort of twerk off.
This is at the event the police chief was marching in. So there's naked twerking going on. We had to censor it a little bit because it's butt crack.
There's a child. There's an infant.
There's a child right there. That's enough. So yeah, that's what the police chief is up to. She's a black lesbian. She's diverse.
Lesbian.
And this is what they are prioritizing while every other aspect of society in D.C. is falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then while everything is falling apart, cities are purposefully being stupid with how they handle their problems, the blue cities specifically. Here's a new plan for Boston.
We're definitely a pioneer in this approach.
A tentative plan to send a team of unarmed social workers to some emergency 911 calls in Cambridge could officially be rolled out as soon as next month, says Liz Speakman, director of the city's new Community Assistance Response and Engagement.
Having an unarmed civilian with experience in mental health going to mental health calls is really the right response.
Speakman tells us that
we don't need advice from a lady on how to deal with like violent emergencies.
Yeah, and you know how we started the clock on Muhammad earlier with that knife guy on how he's going to be in the headline soon? We got to start the clock here on when a care worker is going to eat a few bullets because someone will die.
Well, you know it's a good thing because it's called care.
Yeah, so I can't go against something that cares, right, for mental health.
You don't care?
Yeah.
You don't think caring is important?
And you know what's funny, too? Me and Fleccas were talking about this. Like, have you guys ever heard those 911 calls where an operator's like an idiot, basically 80 IQ, and they're like, oh, yeah, is he in there now? Or where is the gun? Like,
what happened?
Okay, we're sending an officer. And this is a home or an apartment? And they're asking a bunch of questions that are kind of like redundant or unnecessary at the time of like, get an ambulance here now, grandma's bleeding. And now this is just adding like a new question tree to a 911 call. It's like,
whether it goes to care or a normal response.
Exactly. Do we send the police or we send care? Okay, and has he ever hit anyone before? Or like, is he violent? Does he have any weapons? There's all these new questions that are going to come before care gets sent out. And it's just for some woman to be like, take it easy. Like Chris Pratt and the Raptor in Jurassic Park or whatever.
And then they're going to go, okay, now we do need a police officer. And it's been 35 minutes.
It's been 35 minutes. The care officer tried to talk you down, but now we need a guy with a gun. And then a woman with a gun shows up.
Yeah. Then you're really dead.
Then you're dead. Then everyone's dead.
But you have some liberal, educated woman. This is the right thing to do. This is how we should handle it. It's like, what do you know about violence?
Yeah.
What do you know about like real, raw, horrible shit? You're going to find out.
Yeah.
You're going to send your care workers to a buzzsaw.
And actually, not you. You're like the leader of the program. You're going to send some ill-equipped 20-something girl who can't do a pull-up out there. She's going to learn.
With one of those stupid college majors. And then they're going to, I'm here for the feminist erasure of toxic masculinity.
Yeah. It's going to be a death. There's going to be a body bag. Somebody's zipping that person up soon.
All right, let's go to our last page of Urban Decay. This is our Mad at Life section. How would you describe this section?
Yeah, these are people who aren't really in a good spot in their own life, and so they take it out on the world at large, and just with general antisocial behavior and expectations of preferential treatment, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go to the DoorDash guy first. This guy attacked the restaurant workers because his DoorDash that he was picking up was not ready.
Relax.
You hear the lady going, relax.
And he says,
I have him on video.
You can stop. What is your problem?
so if it was hard to see, he was beating up a fat white woman who was working a minimum wage job where he was supposed to fetch the DoorDash. And then he is saying, fuck is wrong with y'all after. So this guy's mad at the world. And then here's the key. He gets into the old Honda Odyssey, the minivan, with, I would guess, a fat wife, something not great, you know? And this guy's mad at the world, and he's ready to snap at minimum wage, Pizza Hut, or where was it? Pizza Hut workers?
Yeah, something like that.
And, these people who do DoorDash with their spouse, they really don't have anywhere else to be. They don't have anything productive to do. So he's going to lash out at the world and say, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, and then he was punching the lady.
Pizza Hut, yeah.
It was Pizza Hut. And he was punching the lady in the face, and then the lady behind him was taking a page out of the care workers book and was saying, hey, relax.
Relax, brother.
It's like, oh, yeah. You're okay. So I'm back to normal.
And so the context was he was there for a DoorDash order and was mad because they were too busy and taking too long. He started cussing and an employee told them they were busy and he has to wait. He was like, what? What did you just say? Fuck you, fuck you. And then he started swinging. So
hey, relax. Don't beat up a lady.
Yeah, don't punch a woman, please.
Are you all good now?
And he can't.
All right, let's go to the next story, which is the saddest story of the show. The woman who stabbed the 3-year-old. This is really messed up.
Alice is seen going to the Volunteers of America thrift store, where police say she stole 2 knives, then briefly stopped in bins and things before walking into Giant Eagle. At 2:58, she walks past the service desk with the knife waving by her side, and no one appears to see it. Then we see her walking near the cash registers. Again, no one appears to see or react to the knife. She then passes Margot Wood and her 3-year-old son, Julian. Ellis immediately turns around and starts to follow them. Cameras show just before 3 p.m., Ellis walked into the lobby and follows behind the mother and son as they exit the store. Cameras then show her following them through the parking lot and to their car.
Somewhere near their vehicle, Miss Ellis then attacked the 2 of them.
And then she, stabs the baby.
Yeah, stabs a 3-year-old.
And then is following everyone around. You have to have your head on a swivel these days.
Knife holding, that fat sloppy walk with like that aimless walk. You can kind of tell who's walking somewhere to get the sour cream and who's walking to, oh, I forgot chives. My wife needs them. You know?
And who's walking just looking for someone to stab who's got privilege.
Am I mad at the world? Yeah. And what am I mad at in the world? Probably white people.
They're the ones who made everything bad.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. That's what I keep hearing on repeat on the news everywhere, right?
And then here's her getting her charges read to her in court, and here's how she handled it.
Code section 2903.11A1 and or endangering children in violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2919.22B2. Count 4 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to JW.
So she's laughing.
She's laughing. You know what I think we should do? You know how I'm always trying to come up with new punishments? I think the cattle prod from No Country for Old Men, just in court, zapper, and, no big deal. That's it.
I think a good old-fashioned hanging.
Oh, lynching.
Because then everyone would go, oh, they're lynching black people. But then it's like, nah, you stabbed a baby.
Yeah, you stabbed a 3-year-old. What do you mean lynching black people? And he was white.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Or she deserved it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the John Doyle tweet about this.
Yeah, John Doyle had some good perspective. He said, this is basically what they pretend happened with Emmett Till, except that was like 70 years ago, and this kind of thing actually happens multiple times a year now. But Republicans would rather let white people continue to be randomly murdered than be called racist.
So true.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the racial grievances go back. They use Emmett Till and like kids who got beat up or wrongfully convicted or something. They have to go back 80 years, and it's like, we can find one Tuesday, a 3-year-old white kid, right?
Yeah. Oh, the Central Park 5.
Yeah. Okay, what about at the shopping center today?
Yeah.
So.
No, talk about that. All right, let's go to the white privilege yeller at the restaurant. We're going to go kind of fast through the next 3.
You get the point.
Thanks, Obama.
You think she's happy with the world? You think she's well-adjusted, has a loving family and a network? Or do you think she hates the world and is taking it out on whoever's in the restaurant right now based on what the TV told her to do?
Yeah, hates the world and has a person and a group who she thinks is responsible.
Yeah.
Based on what the TV told her. All right, let's go to the guy who robbed a kid. Then we'll go fast through the next 2. This is just a robbery of 8-year-olds.
And New York Post be like, ruthless goon.
Yeah.
And, he's robbing these kids. He takes snatches right out of their bag. And do you know how much it was? $8.
$8.
So he committed, I would say, a felony if you rob someone, even though they're kids. But $8 straight out of their little pocketbook.
$8, and you know how like these days,
which is enough to kill over. You guys have seen Urban Decay, right?
Saw last episode.
$1, guacamole. They've shot over
cold fries.
You know, we the list goes on and on. So that $8 is actually enough to kill over.
And then you'd think, you know how society is now, where people think like, oh, I would never want my kids to go unattended somewhere. It's because situations like this, where this guy should have been locked up for years for something he's done 1,000,000 times over. Probably he probably has a long rap sheet. Could have been arrested years ago, but he's free on the streets. So now, if the idea of your kids walking around the neighborhood by themselves is like scary, it's something you would never want to happen. But back when we were growing up, you could do that. You could spend all day out and then just come home at dinner time.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why society isn't the way it should be.
Yep.
Let's go to the wheelie kids.
Watch it.
There it is. He has to go do his wheelie on the sidewalk around all the pedestrians. Why, you may ask? Because he likes negative attention.
This is my top 5 least favorite type of black person.
Yeah, it's up there. So you get it. It took him a couple days. He learned how to do a wheelie, and what is he going to do with that skill? Use it to annoy people on the street.
Yep. Well, don't get too down or too depressed.
I'm pretty down. I'm pretty depressed.
We're going to move on to Uplifting Gold, and we have a lot of uplifting stuff that's going to make you feel better.
All right.
First is there's no seed oils at the bar at Whole Foods. There's like a food bar. And there, for example, they had tikka masala.
Chicken tikka
masala.
Yeah.
And it's all seed oil free. Can you read the tweet that goes with it?
Yeah. It says, someone got the message at Whole Foods / Amazon. Seed oil free food has started to appear on their hot bar. So
good.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's a step in the right direction. And I'm one of our show watchers was talking about shouting out this place recently that was doing beef tallow in his hometown. And it's like, that word will spread. Beef tallow fries. And you kind of got to create a little community and patronize those places when they do make that decision, because that's what you want. You know, you don't want corn seed oil or whatever, canola shit.
All that crap.
Makes you puffy.
Yeah, I'm getting over that now.
He's breaking free of it.
I had Thai food over the weekend. Yes, exactly. And then these are the restaurants that are going to do well and succeed, and the other ones will just be a dime a dozen, keep failing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to this next clip. It's a dog being set up. There's like this dog in China that I follow on Instagram. We'll play that one first on the right. You'll see what I like about it.
Ma! Ma! 兄弟偷吃口牙！快点，偷吃口牙看！这偷吃2口牙！看看。 他口里偷口牙吗？你怎么偷吃口牙那个口牙了？你看这个都吃的，他这个出来偷的，谁要吃的？你这孩子嘛？啊，谁要吃的？
All right, that's good. So they're ratting the dog out.
Yeah.
That's the first clip.
And he's put it at the absolute edge of the counter, basically off.
And as soon as he did, he starts going, he stole the roast. And the dog's looking at him like, dude, shut up. And then this next clip, he sets the dog up.
妈，小贝把雷偷弄到了。妈，你看，他把雷偷弄到了。妈，他又把孩弄到了。你看他弄的。妈，你看他弄一把，你看。他弄的，你看。
So he's lying, and the dog knows lies.
I
now.
like that. Yeah,
that's good. It's uplifting.
Smart dog, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Smart dog.
Thank
and
you.
The dog knows lying. He knows he's like, you're lying. I didn't do that. And like the dog's dealing with like a human emotion.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to the guy singing Lips of an Angel.
I know why you're calling me so late. It's kinda hard to talk right now. Honey, why you crying? Is everything okay? I've gotta whisper 'cause it can't be too loud. We're migrants in panic room. Sometimes I wish you were true. I guess we'll never really move on. hear your voice. Say my name and sound so sweet.
That's good.
Yeah.
You got to admit it.
I know you like that stuff. I know you like third world minorities singing music. Sometimes poorly, sometimes better than others. So I got to let you cook on that.
Yep.
Lips of an Angel, kind of a banger song in retrospect. You know?
Oh, very much.
Fell into that dad rock cringe type of section for a while, but now you're kind of looking back and you hear all the twink music that's currently being popular and you're like, wait, did we have it good back then?
We had it great.
I think we had it great. Lips of an Angel, Hinder.
Yeah.
And it's you have you ever seen that music video? The guy, he's a certain type of early 2000s guy. Doesn't exist anymore.
We got replaced by illegals.
Yeah. For shoplifters and illegals.
Yeah.
So I guess we're back to Urban Decay.
Let's go to the Alex Jones song.
I think Alex Jones was right again. God damn it. Are these aliens demons? Are they demons? Let me give you the gist of for hundreds of years. The Germans have been in contact with interdimensional beings. Please believe me. It's all a call, mind control. I know it, Joe. Trust me, bro. Alex Jones was right.
That was pretty good.
All right.
Wasn't that lit?
Yeah, a little bit.
It was lit.
Yeah, you lost me there. Hinder, Lips of an Angel.
Yeah, it was lit.
Interdimensional demons. You know, come on. I don't know.
All right, last piece of uplifting and maybe the most important part of the show, depending on what kind of household you have. Pat Sajak.
Yeah.
Says goodbye. He is no longer hosting Wheel of Fortune. I don't think we can even play the clip because it's probably copyrighted from ABC.
All right.
But he hosted for like 50 years.
Don't ask me. I didn't watch Wheel.
I'm a Wheel watcher.
I like Pat.
We like Pat. He's a conservative. I'm a Wheel watcher. I've watched my whole life. My mom and I watched all the time. Whenever we hang out in person, we still watch. And he's done. He's retiring. He's an icon. We love you, Pat Sajak. Sad to see you go. Enjoy your remaining years.
End of an era, Pat. And you know what? I will say, Pat Sajak, he looks good.
He looks great.
He kind of picked a good time to kind of call it quits, I would say. And
he didn't Bob Barker it.
That's what I'm saying. Bob Barker, which I love Bob Barker too.
You get into a place where they can't fire you, Bob.
I know. But Pat Sajak, he looks good.
He just didn't go play golf.
Yeah.
Live in Boca Raton or something.
$50 million house. Some fucking crazy shit you've never even heard of. Wine cellar, whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat. Speaking of shout outs, I know it's Tuesday, but we have so many shout outs for Friday that we're going to need to get to some early, and we're going to do that today. We have a bunch of happy birthdays, some anniversaries. Are you ready?
I'm ready. What do we like? Do we like me chiming in? Do I chime in?
Yeah, you chime. Okay. You chime. Happy birthday to Josh on June 8th from your girlfriend, Tiffany.
We're late on that one. Shout out to Tiffany.
A little late, but thank you for watching every single episode and Bonus Land.
Thank you, Josh.
Happy birthday to Herv on June 9th. He turned 20.
What was that name?
Herv.
With a V.
Herve.
Herv,
buddy. He's 20 years old. He watches Bonus Land too.
That's the first time I've heard the name Herv.
And we're happy to have you, Herv.
Welcome.
Happy anniversary to Evan and Laurel O'Brien. 15-year anniversary. They have a beautiful family. They're all show watchers. They're merch wearers. They're homeschooling their kids. They're living the American dream. God bless you guys. I know you. I know about you.
Oh, the O'Briens.
Good people.
The clan.
Congrats on the anniversary and keep it coming. All right, happy birthday to Rob. On June 10th, he turned 44. He's a nice Catholic man who could bench 225, and he's not a homosexual.
For reps, Rob?
He told me he could bench 225.
Okay.
He didn't say how many times.
All right, shout out to Rob.
This next one is a special person. Happy birthday to Spencer. He's a friend of mine. He turns 25 on June 11th, tomorrow. He moved to Nebraska from Arizona with his girlfriend or wife, and then they have a whole new life in Nebraska. And he messaged me, and he's like, oh, you know, we're going to try something new. I'm thinking we're getting out of Arizona, out of the city. We're moving to the land, to the country.
Yeah.
And it's been going great.
I think he asked us to do that on a Q&A.
Yeah.
Is that him?
That is him.
Okay, yeah.
That's our boy.
Good.
So happy,
you know,
happy
sometimes,
25th.
Sometimes you move from Arizona to like the lush land where grass grows, and cows and like Nebraska,
chicken.
cornfields and stuff. Like stuff will grow there. Arizona, you're just what, sweating?
You just get cooked.
Yeah, so I support that.
Yeah.
The heartland.
So, happy birthday. You're our friend in real life.
Yep.
Happy birthday to Quentin's wife, Meredith, on June 11th. They sent us Girl Scout cookies to the P.O. Box.
Very nice. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Meredith. We really appreciate it. Happy birthday on June 8th to Jonathan Soltero. He watches every episode. We missed you last week. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then most important shout out of the whole episode, maybe the whole month.
Whoa.
Happy birthday to Matilda, who turned 14 yesterday. That's show editor Nick's sweet, sweet daughter.
Wow.
Isn't
happy
that
birthday,
nice?
Matilda.
So happy birthday from your uncles, Fleccas and Uncle Ratboy.
There you go.
We're related by blood. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching another Fleccas Talks in the books. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleccasTalks.com for Bonus Land. 30-minute Bonus Land dropping right now. Later in the month, we're going to be off for a week and a half. So you're going to probably want to sign up for Bonus Land and get that bonus content while we're gone. Just do it now. Just sign up now, please.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think. It costs less than a Whopper.
Yeah, Big Mac or something. And honestly, their prices went up so much that we're chilling underneath.
Yeah. With inflation, it's like $3.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. FleccasMerch.com for the best merch in the game. Get your free Big Don shirts while they're still available. We're running out, so get yours now. Father's Day is coming up. Make sure you support Sierra Whiskey Co., a.k.a. Undertack. That's linked in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in Bonus Land.
If you start your own business in this city, Jews will harass you.